Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we are continuing the ranking series by looking at the shooting guard position and ranking every NBA team's starting shooting guard for next NBA season. Now, I do want to remind you guys that I did not make this, so if there's like a player or position or something that does not make sense to you, we can only work with what we got, right, man? So, yes, before we get going on today's video, if you guys don't mind dropping a like on it, remember, people get kind of sensitive about these type of lists, but we all got different opinions, right, man? So, leaving that like really does help, show support towards the video and just kind of hides away the trolls. But I will say, man, the point guard video, that actually went pretty well, all things considered, being a ranking video, because I feel like the point guard spot is kind of pretty difficult to actually rank. There's so many talented point guards out there, and with the exception of some people, like a lot of people were like, yeah, Crispy, like that's pretty accurate. So I felt pretty good about this one. So that means I'm gonna screw up the shooting guard one, definitely, right, man? So we're gonna handle it the same way as we've been doing. We're not doing it as in like, who's number 3, who's number 4. We're doing it tier wise so we can have better discussion and not get caught up in the logistics of having somebody at 13, versus 14 or something like that, right, man? So our tiers are top 5. So if you see a guy in top 5, it's not in order. It just means I'm saying they're a top 5 point guard, and you guys can decide what order you want to do based off your own opinions, right? So top 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, right, man? So we are going to start off with Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards. Yes. Anthony Edwards, I thought, had a pretty solid season, man. Like a pretty solid rookie season. It was definitely down to the wire between him and LaMelo Ball. I am okay for right now putting Anthony Edwards in the top 15 range. Like, I feel like that's like a good starting basis. Like, hey, is this guy better or worse than Anthony Edwards, right? So I kind of like him right there. So we're going to start off with that. Next up, we got the man Bradley Beal. Easy peasy, lemon bitch ass squeezy, guys. Bradley Beal is a top 5 shooting guard in the NBA. Probably be a top 5 point guard too if he played that position. He's got a pretty good playmaker, right? So yes, we got him right there as a top 5. That one's pretty easy. Next up, we got Buddy Hield. So Buddy Hield, I do feel like is a very underrated player. But also I feel like there's aspects of his game that's very limited too. Like, he will go out there and bust off 12 3-point shots, right? We're not gonna make them all. We're gonna make a good portion of them. So I like Buddy Hield. I think personally I would take Anthony Edwards over him because I do feel like he's the more complete player and potential and everything. So I'm gonna have Hield in the top 20 right now. Top 20. Next up, we do have Cade Cunningham. So, rookies are obviously always very difficult to rank because you don't really know what they're going to bring to the NBA. Cade, I do think that Jalen Green is going to be like more ready as an NBA player because of the scoring, but I do feel like Cade overall has like the all-around game. So when you look at it that way, like I feel like Jalen's going to be up to a better start in the NBA career, but Cade's going to, exponentially increase each year. So I'm going to say Cade for right now, top 20. I don't want to juice him up too much because, that's just not right to do. So I think that top 20 range is pretty good. Next up, let's go ahead and go with Caris LeVert. So Caris LeVert, a bit of an injury-prone player, no doubt. A bit of an injury-prone player. He's had like 50-point games and stuff like that. So I really do like Caris. I do kind of feel him in that top 20 range also. I do feel like he's in that top 20 range. That feels about right. Next up, we are going to go with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is still a very good player. His issue is that what he does gets overshadowed by Damian Lillard, and that's because their style of games are actually pretty similar. I do think CJ's a top 10 point guard shooting guard in the NBA. Keep on saying point guard, man. Top 10 shooting guard in the NBA. I do feel like CJ is still that, no doubt. Next up, we have Colin Sexton. I feel like Colin Sexton also is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. A lot of people say he's bad at defense, which just isn't true. Like, he's a good, solid defender. He can score. Once upon a time, I wished the Pistons would not trade Andre Drummond for Colin Sexton, and I am kind of biting my tongue at that one. Just at the time, I was really underrating him and stuff. But over the past year, 2 years, whatever, I've been watching him more, and I've been more impressed, man. I do think Colin Sexton is a top 10 shooting guard in the NBA. I really do. I think he's that good. Yes. Next up, we got Devin Booker. Devin Booker, top 5. He's good. He's solid. I like him. Good player. Yep. Next up, we got Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks can be a little wishy-washy with his style of play. Playoffs, he was fantastic. He was like a damn superstar in the playoffs. But we can't just go, a series or two. We can't base things off that, right? So I'm going to say Dylan Brooks. I'm going to put him in that top 25 range for right now. Top 25 feels about right for him. Next up, we do have Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, easily top 5 in the NBA. No doubt. Next up, we have the man Dante DiVincenzo. So Dante is a good player. I personally like him more as a six-man shooting guard than I do as a starting shooting guard. I do think this guy, and you know what I'm doing based off this ranking is it's not me saying like he's like a bad player. I just think there's more to be seen with him, and you know when you compare him to some of the other guys in the NBA. So I probably right now have him in that top 30 range. Like we got to add some dudes in there. It's another case. There's a lot of talented shooting guards in the NBA, so somebody has to go that range, and we're gonna start off there with Dante. But I do think I'm taking Dylan Brooks over Dante. I do think so. Yeah. Okay. Next up we got Duncan Robinson. One of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. You know, that's about what he does. That's, you know, running off screens, serviceable defender, but that's only because of his height. So, yeah, probably in that top 25 range. I'm taking Duncan over Dante, I think. I just think that three-point shot's more consistent and everything. Next up, we got Fred VanVleet. Fred is going to be, for right now, in the top 10 range. Really good player, yep. Next up, we have Jalen Suggs. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I first saw this, I was not associating Jalen Suggs with the shooting guard position, so I was like, who the heck is that? But yeah, I guess based off this, they do have Suggs playing the 2 spot, because you also saw Cole Anthony was the point guard listed, right? Suggs, I do think is gonna be a great NBA player. I think he's gonna have maybe a little bit, you know, like rookie struggles, like, you know, any guard would, especially playing the point guard or shooting guard spot, or realistically being a point guard, having to play the shooting guard spot. Now, that's gonna be a bit of an adjustment. So for now, top 25 range. Okay, next we do have James Harden. Easy, top 5. Okay, so yeah, it's about to get difficult here, man. It's about to get difficult here in a second. We got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown for me, I mean, he was amazing for the Celtics when healthy last year. I am going to have him borderline. Ooh, is he in my top? Man, this one's tough. I'm gonna have to start moving some dudes down to top 15. I'm gonna have to. Like, plain and simple, I'm gonna have to. Jalen, I'm gonna have borderline top 5, but in the top 10 range. I feel like that's okay. Like 6 or 7 on my list personally. I know I'm not trying to give actual numbers, but yeah. Kevin Huerter, fine player. He's fine. Top 30. Here we have Kevin Porter. So we're going to make an exception right here, and I'm going to pretend that's actually Jalen Green, because I do think Jalen Green's starting at the 2, and Porter would either play the point guard or small forward spot. So we're going to pretend that's Jalen Green. And for Jalen, I'm going to have him probably on that same tier right now as Cade, where the scoring's going to be there. That's what he's going to do. He could drop 20 points a game next season, but Cade's going to have maybe the more all-around game, right? So I feel like those guys, until, you know, remains to be seen who's going to be better, but I feel like so we ought to have them on the same tier because of that reason. Okay, next up we do have Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is so difficult because we have no idea what player he's going to be. Obviously, before the injuries, you would have said top 5. Now it's like, well, what do you say? Because, you know, having the injuries and everything. So I'm gonna have Klay still as a top 10 shooting guard, and that's just out of respect for me knowing the player that he was before his injuries, knowing that even with the injuries, yes, he might be a step back defensively, but that jump shot ain't going nowhere, so I'm still gonna have him as top 10. I'm okay with that. Next up we have Lonnie Walker. Kind of feeling Lonnie Walker probably in the top 30 range. Somebody has to be there. It's gonna be Lonnie Walker. Next up we have Dort. I believe that's Dort, right? Not catch as many Thunder games last season as I wished I could have, man. But okay, Dort, good defensive dude. Every now and then has one of them good ball games. Top 25 range. Sorry, Dort fans. I know you're gonna be pissed off at me. Next we have Malik Monk. Malik. Okay, man, this is getting difficult. Like, I'm gonna start moving some like dudes all around. Okay, let me get 2 of these other guys out of the way that's making this difficult. Actually, 3. I can probably actually make a case for 4. Okay, Paul George, I'm gonna have his top 10. I'm sorry, top 5. He's top 5 playoff. He's gonna have the MVP caliber season next year. I have Zach LaVine as top 10. So by that default, I probably now have to move Colin Sexton down to top 15. Because I think I'm still taking CJ over Colin Sexton for a season. Overall, I would take Colin, like, longevity-wise, but looking at next season, I'm probably taking CJ still. That's fine. Next up, we have Malik Monk. Malik Monk, let's toss him in that top 30 range. Let's go with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Probably top 30. let's go ahead and move. Let's move Dante to top 25. Let's move him to top 25. Scary Terry. Scary Terry to me is definition of like top 15. Walking bucket and everything. Get things done. Underrated. Yeah, top 15 feels good. I'm going to say the same thing about RJ Barrett. Like RJ Barrett next season, based on how he plays, like he can move up more in a tier, or he can move down a little bit. He can move down. Is that Will Barton right here? I have Will Barton right there, man. Will Barton, he's okay. Because like Will Barton's a good NBA player, but I'm also looking at the top 25, and I'm like, am I taking any of these other dudes? Am I lowering them for Will Barton? And the answer is probably not. It's probably not. Let's go ahead and see. Tim Hardaway had his best season last year, man. He had his best season last year, so we could have put Tim Hardaway in top 20. And then this is where it's going to get a bit more difficult. Because I feel like Seth Curry, to me, is probably in that top 25 range. Which means I have to move somebody from top 20 into top 15. Let's do that with Karis. Let's toss Karis in the top 15 area. And then I got to toss one of these dudes into top 20. And I think I'll go ahead and give that to Dillon Brooks. I'll give that to Dillon Brooks. I feel okay about this list here, man. I feel like it's a list of giving respect towards guys that have gotten it done, but also not disrespecting guys where it's like they can go in either direction, which I'm kind of getting at with the rooks. Right, man? With like Cade and Jalen. Yeah. Let me read this out loud. Make sure I feel good about it. Beal, Booker, Mitchell, James, Paul George. I don't think anybody's arguing with that. There might be people that say, like, I'll take, like, Jalen over Paul George. A discussion maybe to be had, but you ain't going to have it with me. And I'm a big Jaylen Brown fan, by the way. Top 10, CJ, Levine, Brown, Fred, and Clay. Yep. Top 15, Ant-Man, Colin, Terry, RJ, Karis. Yep. Top 20, Heald, Cade, Jalen, Tim, and Brooks. Top 25, we got Duncan, Jalen, Dort, Dante, Seth. And then top 30, we got Herder, Lonnie, Malik, Nikhil, and Will Barton. I think that's pretty dang perfect, man. You might completely disagree, but I think that's, like, tier-wise, that's pretty dang accurate. That's pretty good, man. The only one that I'm thinking maybe you could have a discussion for is maybe moving up Jalen Suggs to that top 20 just based off the potential. But I just don't feel right about having 3 rookies on the top 20 like that. I just don't feel right about that. Yeah, that was pretty good. I feel decent about this one, man. I feel decent, which means you guys are gonna roast in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts about it, guys. What do you think about this list? Is it completely garbage? Is there something you would change? Or do you think it's pretty accurate? And you know, I'm completely okay with you guys disagreeing in the comments. Like, feel free to disagree. What I do ask is that instead of just commenting saying, LOL, list trash, give me a reason why, man. Because you saying a list is trash without giving reasoning, or you saying you underrated this player without saying who you're going to replace them with, does absolutely nothing at all. Like, it's easy to give criticism without giving up a backup argument to it, right? So yeah, that's all I ask. But that's all we got, man. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.